Gostar, the God's Tier. The world of Gostar drips from the elemental chaos like a teardrop. And the further from the chaos that you travel, the more the world cools, stabilizes, and becomes livable. The gods created this world as a sanctuary, originally for themselves to escape the madness that is the chaos. But as they filled it with wonders, it became home to so much more. Gaia, the leader of all the gods, who molded this world, separated it into 6 distinct realms: Jotunheim, the Vale, Olympus, Limbo, Diu, and Kini. Each of which she left to her children, the 6 dragons of Gostar, known as the Feylords, to protect. Lucifer, the oldest of the siblings, claimed Diu, the fiery land full of rare treasure, gemstones, and gold. Tyr, the white dragon, claimed the frosty mountainous realm of Jotunheim, building impregnable fortresses to encircle his own castle, built into the biggest glacier he could find. Cain took over the stormy realm of Olympus and helped erect entire cities into the skies. Abel governed Limbo, a land warped by millennia of psychic wars. Lilith took over the Vale and tended to the delicate ecosystems of the magical and natural world. And then finally, Titus, the runt of the litter, was left Kini, a wasteland of undead, monsters, and eldritch horrors, a land where few humanoids can be found, and any you do meet will not survive long. The dragons eventually warred, like all rulers do. Abel fell to Cain, Tyr was mortally wounded, and those that survived were hated by mortals for the destruction they wrought. The Feylords were pushed back into the fringes of society and were eventually lost to the fog of legends and time. But that does not stop them from interfering with mortals' plans, for the threads of fate weave ever so tightly on our heroes who stand and fight the chaos that threatens to consume.
Audio. Sorry. Hello. There we go. That's better. Now you should hopefully be able to hear me. There we go. Thank you for the heads up. This is Blue, traditional hello from Blue. Let me know if you can hear me now. I've got the audio signs now. I just totally forgot to unmute. All right. Beautiful. Yes, this is traditional hello from Blue. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a bit loud. Music very loud. Oh shoot, yeah, the music is very loud. Bring that way down. There we go. Okay, audio sounds good. Hellos from Blue have been done. Oh my god, she's still shedding a little bit. Let's see. Is that too low now? The music? I don't know. Let me adjust it on my end too, because it's a bit loud for me.
No, we can't hear the music at all.
You can't hear the music at all. Okay, bring the music up. There we go. Let me know how that is. We'll get there eventually. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're just doing audio fixing and everything. Hello. How many people have got in the chat today? Hopefully, I think it's pretty bopping. Perfect volume? Perfect. All right. Brilliant. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me for another stream. This is very exciting. So, yeah, we're going to be doing the whole thing on skill trees. Again, the second part to the skill tree, which is going to be crafting. But before we get onto all that, I'll just say some hello and read some of your messages, see what you're all up to. If you got any questions, feel free to, I'm happy to answer them. We got one as well from, is that right? Sorry, who's a bit, she wants to be on camera again, I think. We got one from Potable Goblin. Can I get your opinion on Vecna/Lich being added to the Death by Daylight series? Or the game, I assume you mean. Yeah, I just put in series there into your message. Didn't say that at all. I don't play Death by Daylight, but I think it's cool. I think it's dope. I love mixed media. Look at Fortnite. It's got a mishmash of everything. You got, like, is Avatar now in Fortnite? That's cool. I have no problems about it. I think that's super cool, super dope. But I haven't played. I've never played the game. So, but yeah, you put anyone in these things. You know, it's like, you know, the Injustice games make no real sense technically, because, you know, like someone like the Joker can just beat the crap out of Superman. It doesn't make any sense, but it's a game. It's a video game, and it's cool to have them fight each other or to run away from Vecna. So, you know, it's cool. I like it. I dig it. What are everybody else saying? Hello, Rolex Mirror. What is up? How you doing? We got Dizzy Dares. Oh, muted. Yeah, sorry. I got it. It's all sorted out. Hello, welcome. Ambers, hello. Popper Hype, yes. And thank you for telling people to hit the like button, subscribe button. Thank you very much, Ambers. Speedy X64 Doggo. Yes, welcome. Who else have we got in the chat? Rose, hello, welcome. Let me see. Dizzy Dares. I'm here to say thanks to your domain expansion and packed foul vids. My pleasure. I am so delighted that so many people are using them, that they're enjoying them, and God, that video has been very, very popular. It's already at like 60,000 views, got 2,000 subscribers from it, which is crazy. So welcome all these new people who have probably joined as well. Thank you so much for joining. And we're going to be doing some more skill trees here. Yeah, with Blue in the background, sending words of encouragement. We've got the Golden Phoenix. What a cool name. Hello. I love this tree idea. Can't wait to use it in my domain expansion. Great Snake Lake. Dizzy Dares, that sounds cool. You have to describe it. Tell us about it. Tell us what this Great Snake Lake is all about. Kind of freaks me out, though. I've been playing Subnautica recently, and that this, for some reason, Great Snake Lake just sends fear into my body. Reading it, I don't know why. Potable, am I saying that, pronouncing that right? Potable. For a game about surviving a killer, they added Vecna's hand teleports you away when you're in a locker. And Vecna's eye makes you invisible after entering a locker if you get a nat 20. Interesting. So they added like a D20 rolling system into the game. That's kind of fun. I like that. I really enjoyed the Magic the Gathering series when they added a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons stuff. I really like those. And they had D20 mechanics in there, so that's pretty cool. We have Benny606. Hi, I've just started using the skill trees in my new game, and my players love it. Oh my god, that just makes my day to hear. That is so cool. It's kind of surreal to like know people are using stuff that I've created and enjoying it too, which is great. I am so glad. You'll probably enjoy this video now. I'm coming up with the official kind of like base rules and mechanics for these skill trees that can be applied to any type of game. And then you can add your Jujutsu Kaisen domains, your Jujutsu Kaisen, you know, Binding Vow skill trees on top of that if you want to make things more anime-esque, or I might add some horror or sci-fi elements as well. Additional skill trees that you can add to the base skill trees, so that you can, you know, modify your game however you want, add kind of cool leveling systems. That's the vision for this. So very excited to get going with that soon enough with you all. We'll just let a few other people say their hellos. Anyone else in the chat? Portable says, I got introduced to Goblin while watching the JoJo D&D video. I'm so glad you watched the JoJo D&D video. I love that one. I'm very proud of the JoJo one and the Power Ranger video. I love both of those. They didn't do too well, unfortunately, because I don't think, they don't get as much hype as, the likes of Jujutsu Kaisen right now, which is super cool. But Power Rangers and JoJo have a very dear place in my heart. So I'm so glad you watched those. Potable. Perfect. That sounds like an app. I love it. Rolex Mirror says, I was just interested in D&D. I just so happened to run into him. One of the greatest coincidences of my YouTube history. Oh my god, thank you so much. My goodness. I am flattered. Thank you so much. Golden Phoenix, I'm planning on watching your other contents over time. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy them. I hope they're fun and engaging, and watch my Power Ranger one, because I'm really proud of that. Dizzy Dares, Great Snake Lake is a peaceful ankle-high lake where the darkness of the user hides. All those who are in the domain are safe until they make hostile actions, at which point a great snake stirs. Oh my god, that's so scary. I love the idea of being shallow, but potentially being like super deep. It's very like Godzilla, like kaiju logic. So often you've got Godzilla emerging from the ocean, and he's only up to his ankles when he emerges, but like the ocean floor is like hundreds of feet deep, and there's like loads of pictures of what he actually looks like. I like the idea that Godzilla is just kicking water with his little legs to stay upright. But that is really scary. It's a really cool idea. Potable, I hope you could make Hamon and spin into D&D. Yeah, I love Hamon, and it's on my list of things to do. At the moment, I want to focus on skill trees because I think they're very popular. But at some stage, I would love to do some Hamon stuff. It's just so wild; it can kind of do anything. So it's a tricky one to like wrap rules around, but would be a fun challenge. Rolex Mirror, it's an interesting idea. It is very much. Potable, I got my nickname when I first bought a PS5, and I chose a random username. Potables. I love that. And Rolex Mirror spin would be crazy to implement in here. Can't wait. Cool. Yes. All right. So I think that's good. I've been chatting for 50 minutes, and I was a bit late. So let me show you what we're working on for this stream on the eve of my birth. Let's have a look. I think it's in here. Yes. Here we go. Beautiful. I've got a little base down so far, so we've got some stuff to work with. I was working on those today. Occasionally was streaming to some of my Patreons on Discord. But yes, I've been piecing together this crafting skill tree. Oh, we got some more messages in the chat. I'll get to those in 2 moments. But yeah, to describe this, basically, I want to create a whole classless skill tree, or system, classless skill tree system for D&D. I thought about making it its own system. In the previous stream, we agreed that it should be, so I'm just going to fix my camera just a tad. We agreed that the thing should just be a kind of like a big mod for D&D rather than its own game. The main reason being, watching and observing like the likes of DC20 and the amount of work he's putting into his new system, which is amazing, by the way. Go check out the Dungeon Coach. He's fantastic. He's making a whole new system. But the thing is, when you make a new system, and what I've noticed with loads of new systems is they do lack the vast. This is my main thing, is they lack the massive selection of monsters that is being built up, not only from D&D official content themselves, but from homebrew content created by loads of creators. Like for example, the Dungeon Dudes are releasing their 3rd book, which is incredible, but it's all on monsters from Drakkenheim, and they look sick, and it would be tragic not to be able to still use those with this new system, because obviously I would be dedicated to my own system, and I would convert all my games to it, but you'd just be missing out on all the cool stuff that's there. And also, one of my favorite YouTubers, Dungeon Dad, he just makes amazing stuff, bringing older edition monsters to 5th edition, and there's just so much out there, and I have a great love for so many of the monsters in D&D, and there's such a history to them, and it would be a shame not to use that. And the thing is, 5th edition is so modular as it is. Oh, hello, Holly Anderson. Thank you so much for subscribing. Why is there 2 little guys? I need to move my little bouncing guy over just a little bit. Hold up, bear with me. I'm gonna move the little bouncing ugly goblin. Where is he? I've gotta look through my thingies here. Pajama Goblin, there we go. We're gonna move you just over here. There we go. He's gonna bounce over there in the corner. But yes, there's so many monsters out there, and it'd be a shame to just like not use them, and it'd be tricky now converting them all over to this system if it was a whole new system. And yeah, like I said, 5th edition is so familiar to so many people too. It's easy to pick up. And because of its simplicity, it's so easy to it's so modular. So I like the idea of adding a massive mod to it. The thing is, everyone loves Skyrim. Everyone keeps playing Skyrim, and they just add all these mods to it. And it's still Skyrim, you know, technically, but you could make it like wild crap. Like there's people making Skyblivion at the moment, a massive mod, probably the biggest mod that's ever been made. And I'm so excited for it, but it's a whole other game that they're putting into this game. And I think, like, why not? I've been playing D&D for 14 15 years, something like that, and you know, I just know it like inside out. It's like such a familiar thing. Brendan Lee Mulligan on one stage described D&D for him as kind of like if you think of a guy who has just used a sword all his life for everything. He uses swords to open doors, he uses swords to like open bottles, open pickle jars, uses swords to whisk. He's just the master of the sword. He does everything with the sword. And so when someone's like, well, why don't you just use a bottle opener for that bottle? And he's like, but I don't want to have to learn how to use a bottle opener when I just use a sword for everything. The sword is so familiar to me, and I can make it do whatever I want it to. Why would I go and spend all that time learning this new thing, even though it probably is a far better tool for the job? For me, I am that swordman. I've been playing D&D for so long, and I play loads of other systems too, and I love trying other systems. And I bring those, I migrate those ideas back to my own games. But yeah, that's just my reasoning. Sorry, bit of a rant. I've seen loads of messages come in here. I'll just have a quick read as well before we get into this lovely little skill tree here. But very quickly as well, yeah, bringing it back, I'm going to make this modular, classless skill tree system where there will be 3 base skill trees. One is a combat focused one is a role-playing focused one, and then there's a crafting focused one. The third one there is what we're going to focus on today. And as you level up throughout the game, you start branching off into different paths throughout each of these 3 skill trees simultaneously. You start progressing through the combat one, you start progressing through the role-play, you start progressing through crafting, all at the same time, which is just super fun. And I think it just adds so much more flexibility to your character. You don't have to now, you know, take 3 levels in Rogue just so you can get the swashbuckler ability. Now you can just be like, okay, I'm just going to dip over here 2 notches to pick up that ability and then move on. It'll just allow so much creativity and flexibility for designing builds that really hone in a concept that you want to capture for your character. And you are now known as the guy who could do this, that, and this, rather than I am the rogue or I am the barbarian. You know, there's removing those labels, and you can be whoever you want. I am the gunslinger, alien hunter of the West. I don't know, whatever you like. That's the concept anyway. So go through a few more of these messages in the chat, and then we'll start designing this skill tree. So let's have a look, see what have people been saying over here. Oh my god, so many things. Whoa. Where was I in this? Okay, Hamon is awesome. There we go. Rolex Mirror, thank you. Dizzy Dares, thank you. I'll be listening as I deliver packages at work. I would ask if you have an inclination to make Pathfinder 2E versions. That is my cute game of choice. Pathfinder I've never played, but I think the way I'm designing these things, they are quite broad, and I think and quite in the spirit of 5th edition. They are, they're not vague, but they're simple, so that they would easily translate, I think, to a lot of things in Pathfinder. For example, I've got I'll show you the last skill tree. This is the combat skill tree. Just show you very quickly. And what I've done here is I'm changing the shapes of all of these so that the whole skill tree is more colorblind friendly. So this is why it maybe looks a little different at the moment. But let's look at flourishes. When you take a point in this flourish node on the skill tree, you choose a flourish from a list of them. And one of them might be like a tripping attack, for example. So when you make an attack, you make it contested. You spend a stamina, make it contested, like acrobatics versus athletics or whatever, and you try to knock someone prone. And I feel like that can translate to a lot of systems quite easily. So I'm trying to keep them that, very loosey-goosey. The only thing that would be specific to 5th edition is, say, like the spells. But very simply, with this, when you choose the spell node, you pick any one spell. But you have to have a certain amount of mana in total to purchase higher level spells. You kind of have to have enough magical potential within you to know how to cast bigger spells. But you could just take a spell list from that game, add it in there, and I think it's a pretty balanced system that it will work for most games. I'm hoping that they can easily be translated, but that's I hope. We'll see when it's all done. I've been writing the document for this, just the combat skill tree alone. I'm already at nearly like 10,000 words, and I've only covered the red branch here, the blue branch, and the green branch, which is the technical, mystical, and physical branches, but I haven't done the in-between branches yet. So a lot still to write. This is going to be a big book of stuff, and I'm probably going to have to release even just this skill tree alone in multiple videos. But we'll get to that at another time. Let's get back to these other messages. Potterball said, I told my friend how funny it'd be if he made Hakari's moveset in D&D. That'd be really fun to see. I'd love to see what that looks like. Rolex Mirror, be safe out there, brother Dizzy. The Golden Phoenix. Whoa. Yeah, whoa. Shady. Cool name. Hello. Could you just reduce the music a little bit? Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Thank you for the heads up. It's hard for me to kind of tell because I haven't got the stream on myself, so thank you. Let me know if that's better. Sorry for the loud music. I can bring it down just another tiny notch. Okay. Thank you so much, Shady. Potterball says, yeah, the music does sort of clash with your voice. I'm so sorry. I've been talking the whole time. I should have listened to these messages sooner. Let me know. Give me a thumbs up in the chat if this sounds good, or if you want me to bring it down a little lower. You know what? I'll bring it down a little lower. I can see the sound bars. I'll bring it so it's like about halfway. Let me know if that's too low. Rolex mirror. The monster would be difficult to combine with this. Yeah. You just have to. I've looked at making this its own system, and it's just the time it takes to make hundreds of monsters that I just don't want to do that. When there's so many good stuff out there already. I'm glad this sounds good. Yeah, and the thing is, I don't like making homebrew stuff if there's already better stuff out there. I know a lot of people have asked me to do One Piece stuff. I haven't watched enough One Piece to do that, but also I'm actually using PDFs from homebrew One Piece material in some of my games, and it's just so good. It's like, why would I add to that? Thumbs up in chat. Thank you, Watcher Online. So, Rolex Mirror, did you check out Pointy Hat? I love Pointy Hat. Pointy Hat actually inspired me kind of to make this video because I saw how well he did so quickly, and I was like, I could do that. So yeah, he's a bit of inspiration. I was like, yeah, I want to do what he's doing because it's working really well for him. The big thing for me, my camera setup isn't great. All these YouTubers have great cameras and stuff. Mine's not fantastic. And I like drawing, and I like drawing little avatars. And I saw how popular the little avatar was. I did my research. People like listening to and watching a little avatar guy bounce around. It's just things people like. So that was also like a good thumbs up for me to like go ahead with this. Because I don't have to worry about lighting and buying expensive cameras. I can just draw. Which I love doing. I'm a graphic designer, so... let me see what else is being said. The Golden Phoenix, true, it's not easy to remake the monsters. Yeah, and they've kind of, I know there's a whole issue with Seor, and I even did like a bit of a joke video on Seor. But at the end of the day, it's an art form, and you get used to it. I know how they work, and you know, in the end of the day, they're pretty banger. And the homebrew stuff that people make on monsters is fantastic. And everyone knows it, everyone loves it, and it's super popular, so yeah. Rolex Mirror, yeah, I wouldn't know where to begin. The Golden Phoenix, I've been making TTRPGs and creating monsters, same parts as character creation. Yeah, I do that sometimes. Most of the time, though, I will take a monster and just reflavor it a bit, add other abilities, maybe give something a sneak attack. All that kind of stuff, and all of a sudden it's a completely different monster. I made a big mass of rats from a clay golem, I think it was. Totally different monster all of a sudden just by making it look different. Creativity, guys. Rolex Mirror, I must be draining through making character monsters one after the next. Yeah, absolutely. Mad respect for, to all DM. Mad respect. Yeah, DMs have it. Forever DMs. We have it hard, but you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. I find I get a little restless when I'm playing as a player. Sometimes I'm just like, oh man, I'm so limited with things I can do, and I don't like not knowing what's going on. But I do love being a player when I do get the chance. Just skip down a little bit. Thumbs up. Rolex Bros, a goat for real. You are all goats, honestly. Bad Idea Generator, hello. Bad Idea Generator is throwing out some amazing stuff in the Discord. So many great ideas. Change your name. No, your name's perfect. It'd be neat if you could use a combination of arcane and alchemical crafts to create custom monsters, like some kind of fantasy Frankenstein. I'll get to that later. I have something similar, more along the lines of Jacqueline Hyde, but okay, we'll get there. And Rolex Bear, ooh, fascinating idea. That's awesome, making minions for you in the party. I've got a few things for that, and I think you'll be able to use a few of these ideas to make kind of like companions, but I really like that idea. We might add that in very soon. I think that could be a brilliant one for like the perfect formula. I've got like, so this crafting table, let's get into it. Let's start the crafting table. I'll talk to you about it here. Basically, it kind of works the same as most of the other trees. You start in the center and you start branching out. There are 5 branches here on the tree. We've got arcane, we've got runecraft, we've got forging, we've got tech, and we've got alchemy. I did have another one in here. I had a trinity originally, and I was connecting things in between, and that was like science. But in the end, I just figured it was cleaner with 5. Science, I was going down the route of like just research and taking notes. So you basically, it wasn't really a craft, and I think it's better placed in the role-playing side of things. But the idea was that you research creatures, monsters, all this stuff, so you can have like an advantage against them in different ways. So originally, Alchemy was a mixture between science and arcane. Arcane was a mixture between forging. Runecraft was a mixture between arcane and forging, and tech was a mixture between forging and science. But now we've got 5, and they're all their own independent things. But the ones beside each other are kind of, it is like a bit of a spectrum. You know, forging kind of goes into runecraft a bit. That smithing, that forging of runes. Arcane, obviously magical, hence working with alchemy, magical alchemical potions. Tech, both sciencey related, and then tech, obviously building structures or machines or whatever relates to forging. And they kind of intersect and stuff along the way. The Golden Phoenix, I've watched Pointy Hat. He makes great content. Yeah, he's just like, he's a top tier kind of D&D YouTuber, to be honest. He's fantastic. Amber, I also wonder like what the team is with Pointy Hat. I feel like he's got a really big team. Amber's honestly could just use tier-based monster stats and use special abilities to flavor spice up the stat block. Makes converting monsters fairly easy and scalable. Interesting. Yeah, absolutely. I've actually got. Thing is, you talk about having companions in the combat skill tree. I've got a whole section here for summoning. I've got a list of summons that you can make, and then basically, whenever a summon you summon up dies, you can't summon that summon until you take a long rest. Basically, they have to regenerate and recuperate. So it like encourages you to take on more summons so that you have like more Pokemon essentially. And then summon buff is basically you can spend additional mana to buff up summons when you conceive them and birth them into the world. So every summon costs 1 mana, but if you want to add like the flying ability, like buff to it, it costs 1 additional mana. And you can add buffs, whatever buffs you've learned from the skill tree, you can add to your characters. Extra attacks are in there. Other things, there's an exploding one. So when they die, they explode and deal damage to people around them. Thank you, Sandaria. Sandaria, is that right? Thank you so much for subscribing. So that's a fun one. And one of the summons, I might have to change it. I don't know if it's right or not. But you can just summon a commoner as a summon. They have the commoner stat block at least. And I kind of love the idea that he is just a guy who exists somewhere and a wizard just keeps summoning him again and again. My partner kept saying it, and it's like a horrifying idea. And it's a great idea for like just a character that you create, that you are a summon for a greater wizard in a campaign. Maybe the big bad or something, and they get you to do these horrible things. You can't control yourself when you're summoned. I love it. And what would be awful is if you give that summon the exploding feats constantly just being used as a bomb. But anyway, yeah. But yes, that's another factor of summoning minions and companions and stuff. And you could totally make your build all around summoning loads of little characters with the likes of turrets, with the likes of, I have some other things. I've got mix as well. But yeah. I know, especially his lich content. Yeah, his lich stuff is great from Pointy Hat, by the way. Yeah, the Rolex mirror. Yeah, the lich stuff is so good. Mox, hello. Just chipping in to say your skill tree systems have inspired me to start works of my own. TTRPG system based around the skill tree style. That's really, really cool, Mox. Well, best of luck with it. Hope it goes well, and thank you. Rolex mirror. Oh, interesting concept. Very. Dizzy Dares, I intend to join your Discord. See you soon. All right, beautiful. See you there. Rolex mirror. Poor commoner. Yeah, exploding commoner. Let me go back to the start of this music. This music is a bit too loud. Yeah, it's a bit more chill. Shady, the irritating moment when the party has to wait for Dave to return from being summoned. I love that. Yeah, he's gone again. It's like every time at 2, like lunchtime on the dot. Every time Dave is gone, he'll come back. He'll probably he doesn't. He's not gone long. He'll just explode him and then he'll be back. Yeah. Right. Anyway, go back to the skill tree. we've got our 5 core branches. So we've got, starting off, I'll describe them all as well. And basically in the chat, while we're going through this, this skill tree, just throw out your ideas for any of these branches. I'm going to add them in here. You can see here, like down below my picture, I've got my Google Docs and, oh, not Google Docs, Word doc. And I'm going to be adding all your ideas in here. They're going to be really messy, and I'll go through them again at the end of the stream to really flesh out this skill tree. And we'll build as we go too. So Colin the Commoner, I love that. I actually had a whole thing in my games. They were called the Mystery Men. Oh no, the Alphabet Men. They are all just random kind of commoner people, like not commoners, but like they are a person who has, you know, we go down through the alphabet. So there's like Alfie the Alchemist, there's Barry the Botanist, there's Carlina the Cartographer, and these are all random NPCs that are met by the players, and they are doomed to die. They have just these tragic fates, and it's like all of like karma and luck and destiny is trying to kill them. So they're always doomed to die, and when they die, they turn into these crystal tears. And players can collect them to like purchase things from a very particular creepy salesperson in the world. And they're like, why are we taking these little crystal souls and giving to this eldritch horror? I don't know, but it's kind of, you know, we're getting cool stuff. But if you crack the tier, you actually release the true spirit of what that creature was, which is this horrific demon kind of abomination thing. So they're actually cursed demons to like live out these basic lives, but they're kind of like, you know, doomed to die anyway. Just, yeah. Anyway, they're always aware that they're going to die at some point. But yeah, another tangent. Back to this. Starting off, we've got Arcane. So Arcane is the crafting of scrolls, artifacts, tokens like trinkets and stuff, any kind of magical infusions. The whole base of this is basically infusing spells into objects. And if you decide to focus on the spell scroll part of things, a complex spell scroll, it allows you to add maybe additional effects or additional spells to the item that you're adding it to, but once they're used, they're gone. The unstable artifact you put it into an item, and it explodes with energy. It's more powerful when it's put in the item, but maybe it's more temperamental or whatever, might hurt you and things like that. And then personal tokens are much more toned down spells, much more stable. And when you put it in the item, you remove a permanent spell slot, or you decrease your mana, I should say, by a permanent amount. And to create this item, so it's a permanent item that can keep using the spell again and again. That's the idea with this. So every time you take a point in the arcane node, you learn an arcane arcanum, 2 arcane arcanums. So arcanum is just, you know, like ancient words, like words of power is basically this skill tree. You're learning words of power to infuse them into different objects. Excuse me, I'm running out of water already, burning through it. I should have gotten snacks as well. Should have got myself some crisp something. Mox, now that is a show concept I'd pay to see. A show concept, yeah, with the Alphabet Men. Yeah, I love the Alphabet Men. They're so weird. I had them all written out in like a really old like copybook, just going through them, and they're great for traveling between one place and another, like filler episodes essentially, where okay, we're traveling from A to B. Okay, they're gonna meet 2 Alphabet Men along the way, and that's their side quests along the way while they're traveling. Bad idea generator. Maybe a repair skill could be useful for the forge branch. That's cool. I'm gonna write that in right now. Let's go. We're already got ideas. All right. Let's go along to runecraft. Runecraft is The creating of runes. These are more permanent. They're not necessarily spells, but they do magical effects. And this is basically the branch for making magic items as well. More like your flame tongue swords and your luck blades. Probably not luck blade. Trying to think of another thing. But basically, you put a rune on an object and it gains charges, and it can use different abilities and stuff like that, or it can do additional fire damage, it can do additional elemental damage, that kind of stuff. Or maybe it can turn bigger, or it can turn smaller, or it can turn invisible. Very simple kind of things like that that affect armor and weapons. So quick craft eventually allows you just to quickly write a rune on something, like maybe as an action, so that that thing can temporarily gain the buffs of one of the runes you know. So for example, you can make someone's sword, like, you know, bite your thumb, write some blood of a rune on a sword, and that sword bursts into flames for a few rounds or something. Explosive runes, when a rune expires, it'll explode and do whatever damage. And lasting runes are permanent runes that cannot be removed from a weapon. A weapon can only have so many runes on it at one time. So yeah, there you go. Let's see what else is being said. Rolex, yeah, it must definitely need to be there. Yes, repairing, cool. Dizzy Dares, conceive, birth, soup, and women's organs. God damn. Rolex Mirror, what about the identification in Forge? Ooh, identification is cool. Actually, I didn't even write that last one down. Let's put down repair. And let's put down identification. That could also work in runes or even in Arcanum. Let's put it also down in runes, like an identify rune. You can maybe carve a rune on something and you don't know what it is. Or actually, no, I think you're right with the forging. You could just look at it's just a skill that you can look at an object and understand it, like the identify skill. Skill to use features of identify. Cool. Beautiful. Is the music too loud as well? It's banging in my ear, but let me know if it's too loud again. Identification in Forge. Let's do that as well. Yeah. In at Forge. What about an ore identification in Forge? Oh, cool. That's what you said. Ore identification. Let's go with ores. I'll put down ores for now because I actually have a whole system that I'm going to explain later with materials. Taking a little one out of the Dungeon Dudes book, which is similarly when they released their video on how they're doing the crafting system, I was like, man, that's something I've been working on for ages. That's so cool. But they've done it really cleanly. I want to do it slightly differently, but it's going to be kind of similar. The idea is basically for any of these crafts, you can take parts off of monsters or buy them in shops, forage for them to make any of these crafts that you learn. So yeah, runecraft as well. Obviously, when you take a point in rune, you learn 2 glyphs, and then you can forge those glyphs. Glyphs will usually rely on gemstones to create and other kind of fancy things, but maybe some blood from creatures too might work. Arcane will rely on hides basically to write your words of power on, and also blood. Forging will rely on like bones, like hides as well, or carapaces, that kind of stuff. Tech will use actually organs from creatures, so you've got this kind of like biotech kind of stuff, very like what's the word? Evangelion, that kind of thing. And then alchemy is going to be using obviously organs and stuff like that. It's going to be using bloods and also plants and herbs, that kind of the like. Let's go down through these messages. Branding runes debuff enemies by burning runes into them. Ooh, let's go with that. Let's add. Go to runes. Debuff runes. I like the description there, so I'm going to write that down too. Burn runes into enemies. Ooh, sadistic. I like it. Rolex mirror. Yeah, I like being able to identify high quality ore that you can use to make armor with better weapons. Yeah, we'll get to that very soon. Shady, what's the main difference between runes and arcane objects? I see runes as, funnily enough, like a more permanent form of magical items. I see arcane more along the lines of consumable spell scrolls and the like, and allowing other people to cast spells, whereas runecraft would be more altering people's weapons so that the weapons do things. And I'm going to hopefully try to keep those separate. That's the main difference. If you want to focus on a less magical aspect of things, this would be less like, I suppose they're less powerful because you can't put a spell into everything, but they are more permanent, more reliable. That's, I guess it. That's in my head. That's the difference. Maybe they should be the same thing. Maybe arcane should just have a branch of runes. Let me know. But originally, like I said, yeah, I had 3. I had arcane, forging, and science, and then there was all the in-between things. So between arcane and forging was runecraft. I don't know. I like runecraft. I like the idea of it. Maybe arcane should just be gone, and maybe we should just have runecraft. Maybe just the 4 could be cool. Let me know if people think there should just be 4. I'm down for that. I'm up for changing things too. Mox, did you do the alphabet people in order, or was it random? I think I did it in alphabetical order so that people would cop faster that they're going down the alphabet. Dizzy Dares, I'm behind due to road internet. That's a shame. But keep dropping ideas in the chat though, Dizzy Dares. Rolex, yeah, I like being able to identify how, yeah, okay, sorry, I've read this. Bad idea generator, combination of arcanum and runes for magical tattoos. Okay, let's do tattoos. I'm gonna just add that right now. Boom, tattoos. You know what? We're gonna do a thing where we're just gonna make this like that, and oh, you know what? Actually, no, I was meant to do, okay. Chain reactions is gonna go. I'm gonna get rid of that's like is a weak one anyway. I'm gonna go with bio runes because I had this in the original skill tree, bio runes. So now you can carve runes onto people. There we go. Maybe I don't know if that should be. It could count as both spell charge. We'll get to it. We'll get back to that. Maybe bio runes should just be in between this. Maybe I'll get rid of the spell charge. This basically just adds charges to your items. But you know what? I'm gonna just drag this over here. Excuse me. Put that there for now. This is the downside to this. Okay. And now we're gonna just drag this over here. Okay, that looks messy. So, you know what? For now, it's gonna. I'll clean it up later. I'll clean it up later. But bio runes, we're gonna just change that to black. There we go. Cool. Now it's like a bit of both. Okay. I'll add that to the runes as well. Bio runes. Tattoos. There we go. So basically, they could become permanent tattoos if you had the lasting runes node and the bio runes node. You can make permanent tattoos. It'd be interesting. Tattoos like FMA, scars, arms. Full Metal Alchemist. Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. That could be cool. Ooh. Oh, man. Okay. Man. Yeah. You could have basically your spell book on your arm. Okay. We'll just change bio runes to magical tattoos. So that can go in between everything here. There we go. Beautiful. I love it. Beautiful. So yeah, you can branch into magical tattoos by going down both these. That's cool. Okay. This the scapegoat. What an amazing name. If you ditch the arcane, would you implement its features into runes? Yeah, I guess I would take some things from runes. And thing is, none of this is like permanent right now. This is just concepts I've gotten out. But if people think we should get rid of some of these, then that's cool too. It could be cleaner, and obviously, honestly, it would just save me more work. But yeah, you would incorporate the magical things into other things too. Like, for example, runecraft is just basic objects for now. Maybe I could add, more specifically, I could add weapons. I could add, so maybe it has to be like just tiny objects to begin with, and then maybe you can add runes to people, or you can add runes to armors or to weapons, and maybe you could branch it off and make it more specific that way. Or vehicles, all of a sudden you've got vehicle runes, so that could be more fun. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of very the arcane is very in the middle of alchemy and runecraft. Let me know. Put down yes for put down type 4 in the chat if you just want 4 branches on this and we get rid of arcane, or type 5 if you want all 5 of them. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do a little vote. I can't set up votes at the moment. It would take a little bit too long and it's beyond my expertise. But yeah, the golden phoenix. Enchanting can be arcane. Place into scrolls and objects. Well, yeah. I guess the thing is, scrolls and objects are kind of the same. I'm getting too caught up with Arcanum and whatever. I'm starting to think that this should just be gone, and this should just be like runecraft, or like that, like you said, enchanting. Could be way more interesting. Moving on, while people are chatting, yeah, 5 options. It's nice to have more options, and we can always add more options to all of these things that already exist too. That's also an option that just allows more room for the skill trees to spread out. Runes that spread on contact, so you can spread spell effects like a geas across the battlefield. Ooh, that's cool. I'll add that in here. Say contagion runes. That's fun. Because I also have another part of the skill tree over here, which is crowd control. So when you make alchemy things, and if you throw a potion, they'll explode and create like area of effects. So that could be interesting if like runes also are like contagious and spread around and infect other people. Dizzy Dare's forging path idea. Specialize. You specialize in making swords per se. You can make them better by default, but your hammers are more mundane. Interesting. Like what I've got so far is improved weapons. I've got prototype ammo, and I've got armor upgrades. So you do focus on either weapons, armor, or creating interesting like consumable ammo, like arrows and ballista and like marbles and stuff like that, which I think could be quite fun. And everything in the forging tree would be kind of like treated as non-magical. But this is a tree that allows you to get +1 weapons, +2 weapons, and it's basically down to the... I like the idea that the +1, +2, whatever, is down to the crafting skill of the blacksmith or whatever who made the weapon, and then you can add the runes to do the magical fire damage and stuff. Kind of that's my thinking. If you were to combine runecraft and forging together, now you can have a +2 flame tongue sword, which could be fun. And in my mind, for a +1 weapon, you would need the ingredients of like a CR5 creature to start making the +1 weapon. Like I wrote in my notes, I've got so many notebooks around the place. But in one of my notes, where is it here? I wrote this at like 2 a.m. I woke up and I was like, I need to write this down. Couldn't sleep. So where did I write it? Yeah, so nope, I didn't write it there. Oh yeah, so +1 weapon. Okay, I wrote it somewhere. Maybe we wrote it on a sticky note or something, and it's lost somewhere here. But the idea is you would use the bones of a CR5 creature. You would use like the blood of a CR2 creature, and then the hide of a CR1 or higher creature, and then you take all those parts, you make the leather straps on the thing, you take the bones, and you take maybe the ores or whatever, and you make the weapons. Very Monster Hunter vibes. But we could add. I'll add that into the forging. Specialized weapon specialty, especially. But then again, I've got in the other tree, in the combat skill tree, we do have. Where is it here? What is this? Go away, please. We do have is. Oh yeah, weapon master. So which adds a bunch of maneuvers you can do with weapons, but I do like the idea that you can specialize in just one type of weapon. That is very Skyrim. Let's add that in. Let's do weapon specialty. Weapon speciality, is that right? So let's add that in. Forging weapon specialist. So that you can focus on one type of weapon, but now you can't forge other weapons. That could be interesting. Like you said, yeah, everything else is like a little lackluster, or maybe you just can't forge any other weapons. Maybe you make a vow to just make swords, and now you can't make other weapons. Make vow to make just that one type of weapon. Now can't make any other types, but make these real good. There we go. I'll make sense of that later. And then the same for armor, I guess. Armor specialist. Same as above, but with light, medium, and heavy. Cool. I love it. Very cool. And you just make it for yourself then, obviously, if you want to be a heavy metal fighter. You can be. And maybe the weapons aren't even swords. Maybe they could be so many typos there. Maybe it could just be like two-handed weapons or light weapons or throwing weapons. And then because you're more vague, maybe it's like, I mean, I've got to put swords there as well. Swords, hammer, or like instead of swords, I would say slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning, and then ranged weapons. And then that way it's a little more broad, I suppose. So you can call yourself a swordsmith, but maybe you can also make things that do slashing damage or piercing damage, which could be fun. Let's see, what else have we got? Making weapons. Okay. Could also have runes that activate on a specific trigger, like stuff like traps. Yeah, trapping runes. Let's go with that. Let's go with. Let's go in runes here. We'll go. We've got contagion runes, bio runes, debuff runes. We've got trap runes. So with a trigger. We've got and so that would be like, say you've got the 1d6 fire rune. Now when someone steps on it, it does the like maybe 5 times the amount of damage. Does extra damage. But if you put the rune on a sword, the sword does 1d6 fire damage extra when it cuts. But if you put the rune down as a trap, it's a once-off big explosion of like 66 or whatever. Damage or damaging runes or longer effects. For examples, stunning runes. I'll just put that down for now. We're not going to do stunning runes. They're going to be way too powerful. It's like paralyzing rune in Skyrim is crazy. But I like the chat's thinking here. Everyone's getting into the headspace here. It's brilliant. Rolex mirror. Maybe the ores could also give the weapons or armor special effects too. Yeah. I've been trying to think how to do that because I have an idea. How how about, let's see, extract essence, I will say. Extract essence. So let's say you used material from a giant. Now when you use the extract, if you have the extract essence node, anything from a giant gives the user +1 strength or something when they're wielding the weapon. Or if you take it from an abomination, now they have maybe resistance to psychic damage, something like that. Basically, that means I don't have to go through every single monster that exists, but if you take it from the monster types, you gain different benefits, say, and then maybe they're little buffs. But it almost incentivizes you now to find really interesting materials, rather than saying that material does a particular thing. If it's in your hands, you can utilize the effects of that material and like take it out and extract it and like incorporate it into the weapon. That's really cool. Uses or adds abilities to item if based on the monster type it came from. So example giants giants increase strength, dragons add elemental resistance if in armor. Or now you've got like, yeah, if you take white dragon scales and add it to an armor, that armor now gives you resistance to cold damage. But you obviously have to go get white dragon scales, which could be really cool. And then let's say abjuration gives psychic benefits. There we go. Ooh, I love that idea. That's a brilliant idea. I'll add them all to this skill tree soon. We'll get them all out, and then I'll start adding them, because it's like trying to figure out where their place is a tough thing. Gosh, you guys are going in the chat. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, mocks. You say improve already existing magical items that you could require ingredients related to the magical item. So the flame tongue sword would require red dragon scales, etc. I like that idea of improving magical items, but it would be very awkward to get specific ingredients for every single magical item that exists. But I do like the idea that you could just add to magical items that already are magical. Maybe that should be a thing. Like in Skyrim, you just have a thing that allows you to add these magical effects to already existing magical items. So let's add that between the forging and the rune nodes. So let's go copy this, and we're going to put this between the two. We're going to make it black, because it's very much like a thing from between them. So let's go improve magical items. So now we've got a thing for allowing you to add that, and we'll put that restriction on this that you can't change pre-existing magical items or something like that. That could be cool. That's very cool. We can spelt them down and everything else and use them to make new weapons. That's really, really cool. That's good. Let's do. Bad idea generator. Book of Woes. Arcane. You create a tomb which allows you to turn wounds into stickers and seal them away within the pages in order to heal your allies. Whoa. That's... Your ideas are so cool. And I'm immediately like, how do you add that to like add mechanics to that? Because I just want it because it's such a cool concept, and that's very kind of on the nose on what Arcanum should be. That maybe you have a book, and the book allows you to do different things, to weave strange magical effects. And, you know, spell scrolls are you just ripping pages, like scribbling down basically a receipt for a fireball spell, ripping it out and giving it to someone. Let's add that note in here. Arcanum. You get a magical book where you can, which you can take, which you can take pages out of as spell scrolls, or add effects to the book. Let's go absorb wounds. I'm just gonna copy your whole message in there because that's kind of like a crazy ass thing. I just like your description there. It's pretty dope. Let's go. There we go. Oh, change that. Make it automatic. There we go. Beautiful. Golden Phoenix. I know it's called Goblin Phoenix. Enchantments can last until the magic dissipates. Yeah, that makes sense. Paladin Forge Master. Rogue Rune Specialist. Yeah, I mean, these are really cool ideas. I love the idea of, yeah, you're this holy knight that also just loves working the forge and making his own armor. And he's like committed to the forge. That's his belief. Maybe he gets all his powers from crafts and will only wear master crafts that he has created himself. Really cool ideas there. Rogue Rune Specialist. Yeah, laying down rune traps and stuff like that. Super cool. Mage Josh Plays. What a great name. Perhaps because of what the rune anchors into changes potential. Changes potential? Wait. Perhaps because of what the rune anchors into changes potential. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. I don't know. Small movable objects like weapons can only build up so much mana charge, but a floor could hold a lot more than a sword. I like that. I get what you're saying now. Sorry, I just was reading it poorly there. But yeah, the bigger the anchor, the more the that's really, really cool. So with runes, you want to be writing them on massive areas, but maybe the bigger the area, the more expensive the materials too. But it allows you have these massive workspaces. Let's add that in here to like the lore of runecraft and stuff. Oops, I did that wrong. Let me just do that again. There we go. So add that in here. Bigger the object or area made on, the more powerful the rune. Maybe we should add that as an ability as well. Let's go runecraft here. Let's just add an ability here. Rune scale. And I'll add it here as well. I'll add in brackets here. Rune scale. So maybe that's an ability as well. Like the bigger the area you put it on, the bigger the multiplier. It's really fun. Monstrous metallurgists. Bad idea, generator. Plague screen 1987. Plagueis screens. Sorry. Welcome, by the way. Only the highest tiers of monster can give unique effects, like the Tarrasque if you manage to kill one. I love the idea of the reflective carapace. That is a really cool idea. Let's add that in. I'll add that in just, I guess, below everything. Seor 20 plus creatures give additional bonuses. I'm going to change the music again because this music, I don't know, there's something about it, it just kind of goes through my head. So I'm just going to go back to the start. I'm going to bold that so I remember it for later because I'm not sure where to put that yet. but I want it to be maybe a separate thing for all the trees or something like that. Thank you very much, Plagus Screens. Rolex Mirror, maybe there could be a different types of ore, like regular ore, unstable ore, divine ore, or even man-made ores. Now, the thing with ores, maybe I could add it to the roleplay skill tree. Or there could be a foraging branch in the skill tree. But I'm thinking with ores, since they all could be incorporated, but I guess it would encourage exploration, which is lacking in D&D if you had these ores that you could find. But I'm just trying to think, like, it's because combat is so big in D&D, like getting hunting down monsters is just a very obviously easy way to get materials. Let's go. I'll put down a thing here. I'm going to just make a new title here. I'm going to call it materials. And let's go. Okay, ores, plants, monster parts, and could do one more. If there's any more. Oh, gemstones. I like the idea that ores, there could be a mining branch in mining in that you could just do these things during long rests. I'm gonna go out mining and I'm gonna go see if I can find some rare ore in the ground. There's ore. I'm gonna sense it's got some divine properties. I like that. I like where that could go. So let's make mining in the roleplay skill tree. Because then what's nice about that is like all the skill trees start to bounce off each other nicely. You could just hunt monsters and take their body parts, or you can go, buy materials. And you could just do that. You could just buy materials. You don't have to hunt monsters. You could just buy them in, import them in. But you could go in the roleplay skill tree, and you could start really just focusing on getting particular materials and foraging skills to really amplify your crafts. And you could get super into that. I love crafting. I hate crafting games, but I love the concept of crafting, especially with magical items and going down and hunting the particular cool ingredients to create a magical weapon. I love Monster Hunter for that reason. Ever since my cousin came over to our house once when I was a kid, and he had his PSP, and he had, I can't remember which Monster Hunter it was, and I saw that you could change your regular daggers into these cool icy looking ones all of a sudden. If you fought an icy thing, I was like mind blown. That was the coolest thing ever, and it stuck with me. So yeah, okay, let's add ores and plants and monster parts and gemstones and have these all be particular materials you can use. Hell yeah. I'm just afraid of making it too complicated, but people could focus in on the parts they like. Okay. I just saw, I think, steel in the chat from Golden Phoenix. Figure screens, basic monster materials, and unique monster materials. Cool. Let's go. Monster parts. Basic and what did you say? Basic and unique. So maybe we got like vampire, dragon, Tarask. Yeah, cool. I'm always afraid of making things too specific though as well, because I feel like it can take away from the creativity as well from players and for the DM as well, because like maybe players are like, I really want to find a vampire now, and that's cool too. Maybe the story can go that way, but I don't want to get too caught up. Maybe the thing is you could specialize, you could flavor it like they need to harvest the ashes from a CR 10 or higher undead creature, and then it's a little more vague and easy and also more transferable to other TTRPGs as well. It's more, which I like the Trask is kind of in D&D and nothing really else that I'm aware of, so that's one thing I try to shy away from. I like to go for as vague as possible so that people can describe them and have more flexibility with their creativity. Wow, this chat is bopping. Let me see if I can catch up. Plagueis, or modify, turn a flame tongue into a frost tongue or something else. That's cool. Let's go with that with the runes. Modify element. So change flame tongue to ice or to cold damage. I'll add that as a specific rune within the runecraft. That makes sense. Let's keep going. Or maybe turn mundane item into magical item. Well, that is the whole premise of runes, is that you can put runes, smack a rune onto an item, and now you got magical sword. Or you can go down the route of forging a blade from scratch, and because you forge it in a particular way, it has these permanent benefits to it. Steel, bronze, gold, of course, iron. Then ores like mithril or coronium, and then you can tell me about the ideas. Yeah, I can't spell them either. Rolex Mirror, I will say, I think again, I liked the idea more of the idea that there being like, again, I prefer the what you said earlier, Rolex Mirror, about the vague titles of ore, like basic or unstable, divine, demonic, or artificial, which I think is really cool. And again, it's more broad, it's more flexible that way. So I'm gonna add that in here. Oh, do it again. You can all see that. Yeah, I know it's very small probably for all of you, but let's go basic ores, unstable ore, divine ore. Let's go artificial ores. Is that right? Is that spell that right? And then maybe demonic ores. Demonic ores. Cool. That's really exciting. I love it. Okay. Going down, we got the scapegoat. Have the final perk of the alchemy tree give you a chance to make a philosopher's stone. So cool you said that, because I am running a game that is all based on the philosopher's stone. It's a Ghibli inspired game, and I'm not going to say anything because my girlfriend's behind me and she's in that game and she's probably listening to the stream, so I'm not going to give any spoilers. But this is, the philosopher's stone is in there, and there are people who are trying to make it. Perfect formula. Let's write that down though. Anyone else got ideas for like end game things? Because I've got these things at the ends where you eventually learn basically upgraded versions of the original runes that you can learn. So for example, basic runes would be like, add a d6 of fire damage, make your weapon invisible, all this kind of stuff. Kind of simple stuff, but then flawless glyphs would be really powerful things that you can do, and maybe each one will require very particular ingredients to make. Like, I don't know, if you want to make the Holy Avenger or something, I think it's called the Holy Avenger, and you would need angel blood, or opposite of that, maybe you need like the heart of AC or 10 demon or something, like a Balrog or whatever. Ancient Arcanums are super powerful words of power. Maybe allows you to now infuse 7th, 8th, or 9th level spells maybe into items. Mastercrafts again, just masterpieces. These are +5 magical items or +5 armor. Maybe things that allow you to deal force damage as well, and all this kind of stuff. They would be indestructible. All that. Advanced blueprints. I haven't touched on the tech stuff actually. It's interesting that no one's super interested in that. Maybe that should be an optional tree. Because people don't seem as interested in this. I don't know. Maybe we can get back to that. Maybe that has potential. Advanced blueprints. These are building, Power Ranger robots, Megazords, that kind of stuff. And then perfect formula, like you just said there. Formula would be Philosopher's Stone. Maybe there's different types of Philosopher's Stone. Maybe different types that do different things. Like, can allow you to constantly heal people. Another one is all about dealing damage. Another one is all maybe about infusing into you and making you a hideous monster. That's another branch in the alchemy tree, which is self-inoculation, which is just you infuse yourself with all these different chemicals and magical effects. Yeah, I love the Philosopher's Stone idea. Dizzy Dares, just want to know, I nodded along with everything you said about the weapon and armor specialties. Hell yeah. I'm the same. I'm like that if I'm on a stream as well. I'm like, this is great. Okay, yeah. And I feel like I appreciate, because I vibe with it. I feel like I want to tell people that too when I'm just listening to them, like nodding. Vegas screens the Strange Hag book. Ooh, let's add that. Strange Hag book. Strange Hag book. I just like that. That's so like infinite potential. Just that one small sentence. Mox Tech Tree. Ooh, I just scrolled down while reading and it messed up my vision. Tech and alchemy, prosthetic enhancements. Yes, prosthetics. Either due to deliberate or unfortunate manipulation. Love it. Replace the missing flesh with stronger steel, or alternatively, grow some mutant arm out of your body. Let's add that in. Let's do that. I love it. And I love being able to like cross these trees together, like have things from both in the one. So let's make that black. And then prosthetics, is it TH? Prosthetics. There we go. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Good. Prosthetics. What did I do wrong? I don't know. It's gone. Whatever. Let's just put that there. That's cool. Add it there. Beautiful. Brilliant idea. Going down again, you said, and you have a prosthetic to alter magical tattoos or engravings on the prosthetics. That's really cool. Let me add that in. And if you have prosthetics, it alters magical tattoos to be engravings on the prosthetics. That's cool. Yeah, they're different material all of a sudden. Imagine making the prosthetic arm out of rubies, and now all of a sudden you don't need to, or like just entirely made of ruby. So now you don't need to like use ruby to make things do fire damage. Now that hand permanently is on fire. I don't know. Very cool. Fake screens. Project Moon Ego weapons and armor, physical forms and of items or tools forged from fragments of human psyche, and a hammer made of the forsaken murder of a gun of the solitude of an old lady. What? Project Moon Ego weapons. Oh, this is like, is that like a game? That sounds freaking cool. I love like when things get real, like I guess abstract for lack of a better word. Like this sword is made out of misery from the loss of my family, and now this is just the embodiment of my misery. All that stuff is dope. Oh, Nezu, hello. I haven't seen you, man. Welcome. It's interesting hopping in here and looking at all these cool ideas. You guys are amazing. You guys are full of like brilliant ideas. I love this. This is fantastic. Thank you all for contributing to this as well. Taking time to just hang with me and brainstorm. This is so much fun. And also, I just want to say thank you while I'm here. Just thank you to all of you for being here, for subscribing to my channel, for following what I do. It really means a lot. And I've had so many people as well supporting me on Patreon as well. And I'm just blown away. I would love to be doing this, you know, full time, make this my job, just create cool stuff, cool shit for you guys. And yeah, thank you for helping me and supporting me do this and encouraging me to keep going with it. It just means a lot. So just want to take a moment to say thank you. Because it really means a lot. Anyway, oh my god, someone said food drink, and I realized there's no cooking tree. Maybe I can somehow make cooking a thing. There needs to be a cooking tree. Can alchemy just be science? And can there just be a whole cooking tree instead? I'm just gonna write cooking here. Make it a completely different color. There we go. Cooking. I'm gonna write cooking somewhere. Cooking question mark. Because, I mean, who doesn't love the idea of buffing your friends with cooking? I love cooking. I used to want to be a chef when I was younger. Cooking is a wonderful thing. I realize, though, I just prefer cooking from people that I love rather than just masses of people and stressing myself out. Oh, I've got cap lock on. Okay. Whoa, what is happening? What is this? Oh, I keep clicking tab. I see. Cooking? Question mark? Okay. Learn to recipes. We're hitting 1/2 now. There's so many messages here, and I really want to keep going. I'm just gonna mute myself very quickly. I'm gonna go grab some water. I'll be right back. I might take a little break later, but I'm talking so much, and so I'll be right back. I'm just gonna put on a little break video for you to watch while I'm away, and it is just it's just a little bit about my own homebrew world. I'm just gonna leave it play to distract you guys for like 2 minutes, so I'll be right back.
Gostar, the God's Tier. The world of Gostar drips from the elemental chaos like a teardrop. And the further from the chaos that you travel, the more the world cools, stabilizes, and becomes livable. The gods created this world as a sanctuary, originally for themselves to escape the madness that is the chaos. But as they filled it with wonders, it became home to so much more. Gaia, the leader of all the gods, molded this world, separated it into 6 distinct realms: Jotunheim, the Vale, Olympus, Limbo, Diu, and Kini. Each of which she left to her children, the 6 dragons of Gostar, known as the Feylords, to protect. Lucifer, the oldest of the siblings, claimed Diu, the fiery land full of rare treasure, gemstones, and gold. Tyr, the white dragon, claimed the frosty mountainous realm of Jotunheim, building impregnable fortresses to encircle his own castle, built into the biggest glacier he could find. Cain took over the stormy realm of Olympus and helped erect entire cities into the skies. Abel governed Limbo, a land warped by millennia of psychic wars. Lilith took over the Vale and tended to the delicate ecosystems of the magical and natural world. And then finally, Titus, the runt of the litter, was left Guinea, a wasteland of undead, monsters, and eldritch horrors, a land where few humanoids can be found, and any you do meet will not survive long. The dragons eventually warred, like all rulers do. Abel fell to Cain, Tyr was mortally wounded, and those that survived were hated by mortals for the destruction they wrought. The Feylords were pushed back into the fringes of society and were eventually lost to the fog of legends and time. But that does not stop them from interfering with mortals' plans, for the threads of fate weave ever so tightly on our heroes who stand and fight the chaos that threatens to consume
We're back. Hello. Can you hear me okay? Does it sound okay? I got myself some crisps. I got myself a little bit of chocolate. I got 2 glasses of water. So I'm ready to keep going. I've just been reading through these things. You guys have some incredible ideas. Looking at like the idea of the mining tree, going on quests to get particular ore. This is just like a DM's field day when the players start going like, okay, we just want to go get this ore. Can you make we want to go find it and stuff like that. It's just like, it's so much fun. It's just the adventures start writing themselves through the skill trees that the players start going down, and DMs can watch players take certain things as they level up their character and be like, oh, okay, this person is going to eventually look for some demonic ore because they're going to trap a demon sword for their demon build. And I just love it so much. This is so cool. Reading everything as well, just kind of going through everything. Bootleg brewery is a lovely idea. A phone call happening in the back. Alchemy, yeah, I love the idea of just really flavoring your potions as alcohols. That could totally be a thing. That you're just a brewer and that's what your things do. All the things you throw at them, you just you're just constantly intoxicating your party. That should be a thing that someone should do. They should just make everything a brew. I don't know if you can hear that. My dog's out on the balcony like trying to get a bone out of something. It's just making a lot of noise. Going through everything. It's pearls as well. Yeah, Shady, you said the idea of pearls as materials just because they're of biological origin. I love that idea. Love the idea of having to go swim down deep somewhere to find pearls just so you can make this one thing. Bouncing between skill trees, industrial sabotage, tech from bad idea generator. Bad idea generator says industrial sabotage. Tech for the tech tree, you can make a mechanical device suffer a catastrophic failure, and when it's next used, potentially with a random side effect. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy that and just add that in. And I'll make sense of that later. Like make mechanics for that later. But you've kind of given me everything that I need for that. So let's add that in here. Oh, I did the same thing again. Oops. Paste. Love that idea. Just adding flaws and stuff. There's a book and it's really beautiful. If anyone's ever read it, it's called Witch Plus Craft. It adds a crafting mechanic or like system to D&D, and there's some really fun stuff where it adds like flaws and stuff and other random side effects that can happen when you craft magical items or craft anything, and they're really fun. If you ever want to check out a crafting system or want to add it into your game anytime soon, it's brilliant. It's really lovely. I really want to run an adventure where people are just setting up a shop. It's just like a shopping whatever game. Anyway, I see so many messages coming in, so I'll stop rambling. Going down here, fake screens. You said the specifics are made by DM. Give rough things. Yeah, exactly. I like to give rough ideas so that DMs can flesh it out to fit their own lore as well. Their own world. Maybe you don't have vampires in your world, and now there's on this skill tree it specifically says you need vampire dust or whatever to make this thing, and it just might not suit your game. So I like to keep them specific for that. Have that flexibility. Yes, Rose says constantly amazed by all the creativity here. Yeah, I just blown away, just absolutely blown away. Bad idea generator, magnum opus forge. You create one weapon or armor set of immensely high quality. You can only have this one time. I'm thinking the final, because of the ideas you're spitting out here, guys. Maybe the final masterpiece on all of these should just be one item that you make. Based on that, and based on the Philosopher's Stone, maybe that's where things should go. Oh, did that again. Keep doing that. There we go. Let's go to the bottom here. I'll add another title. Let's go heading 3. Let's go masterpieces. Final tier of skill tree. Make 1 mega item. Example, Philosopher's Stone. Philosopher's Stone. I spelled that wrong. Maybe that should be an idea, but I also like the idea. I think people will progress through these skill trees quite quickly. They might not as well. Because I'm intending that every level you only get 1 point to spend in this. So you're going to be moving through it a lot slower, and you're going to be mainly focusing on getting good crafts, adding to your variety of crafts that you can make. But I do like the idea of, like, if you do go into like later games, you'll get to a point where you've already made your masterpiece. And maybe you want to make other things. So maybe in these trees, at the end of it, maybe 1 masterpiece is at the end of the list of things you can make. Or say with the flawless glyphs, you get to the flawless glyphs tree. You can start now getting really powerful glyphs to add to magical items. At the bottom of that, there is a master glyph. And you can only get that after like level 15 or something. And when you get the master glyph, you can now create your masterpiece or whatever. Could be an interesting, it could be a vibe. Oh my god, where am I now? I just scrolled through the chat. There's so many messages. Holy crap, this is, okay, I'm way behind. I'm gonna have to skim through everything here. Yeah, because Shady, you were asking, what about endgame? Being able to create a soul, infuse a soul into a weapon, making it a living weapon. I don't know where exactly this would fit. Maybe alchemy. I'm going to add soul caliber. What was that? Add soul to item. Cool, let's go with that. Let's just put it in there. We're just getting ideas out here. Fake screens. Each Philosopher's Stone is based on deadly sins. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, let's go back to my Philosopher's Stone. Based on 7 deadly sins. Okay, that's cool. We're on Dizzy Dares. One last idea before I hit the dead zone. Repurposing the armor, weapon, or soul of a Viligant Knight leads to the armor or weapons gaining loyal trait. Loyal items refuse to be used by any other. That's a cool idea, the loyalty idea. I'm gonna add that just into a random thing here. Loyalty levels and personalities for items. Let's just add that in there. I don't know where I'll put that in yet, but really cool idea. The idea to connect a personal weapon or armor craft weapon with psionics. Very cool idea. The idea that you build... I like the idea that the more runes and stuff that you add to items, the more they become sentient and they start to gain a life of their own. That's really cool. True artifact. The magic item, this is from the Golden Phoenix. The magic item will never burst after use. It can't be broken by anything but the chosen thing. Example, the one ring can only be destroyed by throwing in the volcano. I'm just going to copy that and paste it in here. Don't know where I'll put it in yet, but let's just get all these ideas down so that they're not lost. Look at the procedure to moon ego. Okay, we'll definitely look at that, figures. Rightful owner, weapons such a wrench away from itchy hands. Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah, the idea that loyalty thing again, that they can come back to you. I look forward to seeing the rest of this in a VOD, but bye-bye. See you, Dizzy Dares. I'm so sorry I didn't get to say goodbye, but thank you so much for joining. You're probably gone at this stage, but thank you for joining us. And amazing ideas. Okay. I'm still catching up, guys. We're still catching up. When And it could take sanity, go crazy if you fuse the thing. Okay, yeah. And yeah, losing. Yeah, I actually got a sanity mechanic Vegas screens that I've made, and I'm gonna make a video on it soon. Could work really well for like going crazy with just weapons and having runes all over you or something. Really good idea. I know, and I sincerely hope you get to that point, and you will. I know. Oh, this is when I had my heartfelt talk to you all. I'm just reading all the mushy stuff now. Oh, Ambers, yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, tomorrow's my birthday. This is the eve of my birthday, so thank you all for being here. This is like a pre-birthday party. Thank you all for being here right now. I know how hard it is to get to that point. Yeah, it's tough to get to like to be able to earn money from this, but you guys are really helping me with feeling like it's possible to make YouTube a career, and it's just so cool. Thank you. Cooking tree, like delicious dungeon. Yes, I really want to make a cooking tree. I want to make a whole skill tree for cooking. Magical cookery. Happy birthday, Goblin. Thank you so much, Rolex. Bad idea generator. Cookery could be tied to multiple branches. Example: an arcane cookbook, alchemical seasonings, and forge cooker. Oh, thank you. You're amazing. Bad idea generator. Nothing you spit out is a bad idea. I'm gonna add that into my cooking note. Make sure to add a cooking. Oh, I did it again. Make sure to add a cooking note to node to every ability, and then slowly you can be a chef. But also alchemy could just be cooking. I think you could reflave alchemy to be just meals, by not making them like potions. Like for example, the grenades could be pies that you throw at people, and I love that. Right. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, Goblin's dying from dehydration. I was. Thank you for waiting for me. Okay, so I'm getting close to where I ended the I took the little break, so I'm just gonna speed through here. I'm sorry for any comments I'm not getting to. Happy birthday. Oh, thank you for all the happy birthdays, everyone. Thank you so much. Okay, we're getting kind of towards catching up with the chat now. So vehicle skill trees, tank, ships, and everything else. Oh, vehicle skill tree would be cool. Let's add that in somewhere in my notes. Vehicles? Question mark? Okay. Where am I? Vehicles. Oh, wow, so many happy birthdays happened while I was away. Well, let's catch up with the chat. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate that. I will be... I don't know. Should I give away my age? What does everyone think my age is? Put it in the chat. Guess my age. Maybe I shouldn't be asking this. Maybe we're all going to say I'm 40 or something. I'm curious what age you think I am. Oh, we're back to the point of the music where I do not like it. It gets too repetitive, that part of the music, so I'm just going to change it. Nezu. A tech being able to make little cameras or walking cameras like robots with cameras in it that you can look at. I've been playing Subnautica a load, and my mind's going to Subnautica there. Let's add that in. Let's add the camera idea. I love the idea of being able to spy, and maybe the idea that these cameras can like eventually like be, eventually projectile cameras, or maybe eventually they become just the scrying spell or something like that you can like place scrying. There's a spell for that. I can't remember what the spell is, but basically you can mark a location as like a safe place or something, and you're aware of everything happening in that area. But I like that a lot, and I like that the tech tree is getting some love. And let's add prosthetics here. Psionics and crafting skill tree is perfect for ego gear. You mentioned ego gear so many times. I've got to go check it out. I'll just put it in the bottom here so I remember ego gear. Look up ego gear. Oh, I did it again. I'm just gonna write ego gear. Okay. We're catching up with the chat. Goblin Phoenix. I wonder if this video can be watched again later time. It will. It'll go up immediately. You guys can watch this later. because it is quite a long video, and I know you've been here for a long time. So thank you so much for being here, for everyone who's been here for so long already. But yes, this video will be up after this thing goes live. So yes, and do give it a like, do all that stuff, comment in the video itself as well. So maybe hopefully you can do. But these live videos are mainly just for the people who are at them. You know, they don't usually have like just an insight into YouTube. Live videos don't get much momentum after they've gone live, but they're fun to do, and I like to do them every time we reach like about 1,000 subscribers or so. Now, Mox, an item that allows you to respec a set amount of set amount of points with each use. Extremely rare items crafted. That's really cool, the idea of respecking. I'm just going to put a note here, and that could be something later on for sure. And I mean, if you've got a generous... Oh, I did it again. If you got a kind DM, then they'll probably let you respec some things, obviously, too, I think. Or if you got a really cunning DM, maybe they'll get some patrons in there who are like, oh, do this thing for me, and I'll give you boons. And the boons can literally be, I will give you this node, or I will give you this knowledge, and you could just be like, plop, there you go, your character now has a branch in the runecraft node, because he's made a pact with a giant who's got all this knowledge on runes, and they've like infused it into their brain, which is really fun. Embers, and it should be, oh yeah, you're talking about the live chat. Yes. Great ideas today. Yes, Mage Joss Plays, they are fantastic. This thing is bopping. Cooking next live stream. Maybe I do cooking tree next live stream. Bad idea generator is Usopp. Yeah. It's just everything that they say just becomes reality. I love that. Building ships. Building vehicles is interesting. I did make a note of vehicles, so I need to figure out how I might do that. So, Nezu thinks I'm 25. Shady thinks I'm 23. Mock says early 20s. Vegas says 25. All of you are saying I do seem much younger than I am, which is nice. I think that's good that I come across as younger and I'm more youthful. So that's nice. But it is higher than 25. Nah, he's Sage King. He's Sage King. What is that a misspelling? It meant to be Sage King, or is it Sage King? Sage King doesn't sound very flattering. But I like the idea of Sage King. It's fun. I'm an Eldritch Horror, actually. I'm like well into my 6,000s now. Mid-20s, like 23, 26. Close. Blue recently had their first birthday a bit ago. Yeah, Blue is 1 year old now. She's now scratching in the bedroom. She's been taken to the bedroom for a while my partner's on a call. She's but she's okay. She's been fine. She's just a very verbal girl. Nezu, where would a mimic fit in on basically a weapon or a turned other? Wait, mimic weapons? Rolex Mirror, happy birthday to Blue, happy late birthday. I'll let her know. Mimic weapons. Okay, I need to make a big note here. How do craft trees make things alive? Question mark. These are just I'm going into like real mad scientist notes now. Mimic rune, make item sentient, possibly. Give movement speed to item. That could be so fun. Like allow item. Give 8 intelligence to item. We're just basically making runes now that have the what's it called? What's the spell? Animate object, right? Yeah. This is fun. I like the idea. You just give life to things. You just get to these godly powers. Maybe that should be a flawless glyph. A glyph. Flawless glyph. Flawless glyph. Let's see here. Vegas screens. If you want, I can, after I'm done with work, I can send explanation of ego gear, something, or a good source of info. Send some stuff over in the Discord if you like, and I can have a look. If there's any videos that break things down very well, I'd love to listen. I love going through kind of lore videos and stuff for different games and series and stuff. Something I do all the time. Constantly filling my head with ideas. Ambers, how do you not have YouTube membership enabled? I don't? I thought I did. YouTube membership, no? Maybe I do. I don't know. Vehicle skill tree, end is super weapons, so Oppenheimer time. Uh-oh, nuke. Maybe an alchemy thing could be a nuke. Big damage. I mean, you could just theoretically make that if you start just focusing a lot in damaging alchemical powers or whatever, potent potions, for example. If you keep ramping up potent potions, you can make a little nuke that you throw. Mage Josh Plays, for real, this is one of my favorite newly discovered YouTube channels. Oh man. That is so cool to hear. Thank you so much. And I'm quite proud. I'm quite proud of what we're building here, like both in this live stream with the skill trees, but also just the videos. I think I like making content that I know I would enjoy, and it's really nice to know that other people have the same taste or would like things that I like. It's fun. Younger than me, says Ambers. I am between 25 and 30. I will say that. Rolex mirror, the alter ego of Usopp. Shady, imagine making an alive object and that can't cast its own spells. That can cast its own spells. Okay, I need to make a note of that. Maybe everything should have a feature that allows you to make the thing a familiar. Make arcane book alive. Make weapons or armor alive. I'm just thinking now. There should just be a skill tree for sentient items. Skill tree for sentient items / familiars. I've got some cool stuff for summonings in the combat skill tree that really do let you flesh out the summons. But that's the thing. That's the beauty of these skill trees is you can be like, okay, I want to run a Pokemon themed game. I can go like make a Pokemon style skill tree that basically is like an evolutionary tree for Pokemon, for creatures. So basically you start off with like a select few of like basic creatures that can do X, Y, and Z, and then you can have them level up. I guess it'd be more akin to like Digimon in that regard, but you have this like monster and that's what fights for you. All right, but that probably should be its own skill tree if we're talking about sentient little companions. Everyone loves companions, and that's why I put it into the skill tree as well with the summons, because everyone wants to summon. Like, and there's so many classes that allow you to summon things. But I think the cool thing is that a fighter should have a companion if they want to specialize in that. It shouldn't be like exclusive to say a druid or like a ranger or kind of those nature-based things. I think everyone should have an animal companion if they want. Anyway, Nezu, I love randomly finding new cuts on my hand. Ow! Oh no! Oh god, I don't know what that's related to. Maybe it's a spell book. I think it screws. Yeah, I'm off work in 6 hours. In about 6 hours. Okay, cool, fantastic. Well, good luck on work as well. Rolex, oof, sad times, Nezu, sad times. Yeah, man, oh god. I've had that before. It happened a lot when I used to be run down. You get cuts and stuff, especially sores around your nails. Get some sleep. Make sure you sleep well. Hydrate. Get a good meal in you. Nezu, a living spellbook then. Yeah, maybe I'll have to make a living spellbook now. Use bad idea generator. Use runes to turn another Usopp message here, guys, from the bad idea generator. Use runes to turn images or creatures into living creatures. Example, the crest of a shield bears the image of a lion, and activating the runes on a shield temporarily turn it into a real lion. It's cool. Such big brain. Such big brain. I'm going to add that into the alchemy or the arcanum, because I think the idea of the arcanum being a sticker book is so much fun. And it's just being one big massive Pokeball or PC from in Pokemon. Mage Joss plays, I made certain ores require specific arcane procedures to smelt and work with them. Adamantium is the way to make nuke in the world of changing stars. That's really, really cool. And as much as I do like the process of going through things like and forging things, I think if you have the skill tree, then you know that process, and then it'd probably be down to the DM to like add processes if they want, or like maybe needing specific workstations to create these specific items. But also it's nice to have very basic, simple skills. If people just want to be like, bam, I just want to get the item out. I have the ability, I have the materials, I just want to have the item now. But you can totally add that process if you're a really descriptive DM and want to like riff off that, or if you're a player who likes to describe how you're forging things. I think you're open to add those descriptions in. If they're not in there already, it kind of gives you that blank space to be like, here, if you want to describe how you do it, you're free to. And now you've got the like mechanics part, now you can add the story part. Or if you're just, mechanics heavy, you can just be like, bam, I got the item. Ba-doop. Do cut like little musical animation of like Link cooking at the fire, making a hot pot, and then boop, you got the item. Bad idea generator, or a book of pictures with runes on its cover, so that you can choose which creature you bring to life. Yes, exactly. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, there we go. We got to end we're on the same wavelength. Bad idea generator. Fake screens, living brews and potions, alchemy and mad science. It's just flubber. If your potions are alive, you're just creating flubber. You just got these little potions that are dancing around like little blob guys. Brew Golem. Brew Golem. Put that in alchemy here. Brew Golem? Question mark? Amber's living spell book that is the mind, has a mind of its own. Tick it off and it might cast fireball at you. That's really fun. And I love the idea that it has all your spells in there. Yeah, and I like the idea that it takes notes for you. It's just floating there, taking notes. For new spells, you're like, okay, write that down. It might cast fireball on you. Yes. Nezu. I love and hate being here because I'm setting up a homebrew world with a friend, and some friends are all with all these new ideas are so tempting. Yeah, I feel you there. I love it. I love watching. I'll often put on an episode of Dungeon Dad, and he'll go through a creature, and I'll be like, okay, this seems interesting. And now I'm like, okay, now I need to add this creature to my next game. It was like when he added the Genius Loci, I knew I had to have my players fight a planet. They're like beyond level 20 at this point. We've been playing this campaign for like 8 years or something. They're off to fight the god of everything. And obviously, on their journey, they had to fight a planet at some point. Rolex Mirror, that could be funny, annoying, and interesting. I like it. Yeah, the fireball casting book. I love it. Nezu, I love the idea of a health potion that comes alive and when you become unconscious and makes you drink itself. You might be onto something with that. I might put down auto potions. Auto potions. And I'm also going to put the idea into tech where turrets can be like dispensers. They can like dispense, give potion on command. And now all of a sudden you get down, they like, here is your potion, sir. And it's just a potion dispensing it's just a potion dispensing automaton, which I love that idea. Shady, can you switch to skill tree view, please? Can you switch to skill tree view? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I haven't been showing the skill. Thank you. I clicked the wrong tab. There we go. We're back to the skill tree. There you go. So here it is. Here's it's coming along. Thank you so much for letting me know that, because there's so many. I have 3 screens right now, and several of those screens are split up into different things. I just forget about these things sometimes. Thank you for that. I wonder how long that's been there. Josh plays. Yeah, it gives me some very vague requirements. Yeah, I give some very vague requirements so the player and DM can decide how difficult it is or involved it is to make it. It's a really good shout. Oh, wow, I've actually caught up to the chat. Amazing. We've been talking for about 2 hours. I think there are some great ideas here, all in all, and I think there's enough for me to start writing some things down. Before I go, though, do you want to spend a little time of just coming up with different alchemical recipes, what they should be? Obviously, we've got healing potions there. There should be acids, maybe, exploding, damaging potions, enhancing potions that increase your speed, something like that. Tech. What tech should there be? Should there be, obviously, prosthetic limbs is a really cool one. Crafty gadgets, mechs. Interesting though as well. I'm thinking maybe tech shouldn't be here. As cool as we have some really interesting stuff here, like prosthetics and stuff. I think a lot of people don't care for tech stuff a lot of the time in D&D, so maybe tech should be crossed out too and just like be absorbed by alchemy and also by forging. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'll put a note here. Turn in remove plus, because I think if you've got like 3 or 4 solid things here, then you can just really hone in and like make each branch feel like it really branches out into loads of different things and give it that real branching effect, rather than like really limiting yourself to these kind of smaller skill trees that don't really go anywhere. And also maybe add in things like, maybe I might add in notes like, you know, if you choose the rune craft thing, maybe that could also just be, if you want, you could flavor that as tampering with weapons and adding mechanical effects to them. Or likewise for alchemy, instead of them being potions, maybe they're little inventions that do these things. I don't know, what are your thoughts on that, on maybe removing tech and like splitting into like the forge tree and the alchemy tree? Because I think you could do a lot with just 3 branches and have them all integrate into each other. Remove plus add to alchemy and forging. What are people saying there? Poisonous debuffs. Let's go with debuffs for alchemy. Let's go up here. Poisonous debuffs. Oh, I like the idea as well of maybe potent potions ignore resistances. That's cool. And also potent potions could also increase duration or damage. Let's go with that. Rolex Mirror says lasers. Lots of lasers. I mean, yeah, I'll put down lasers in the tech tree. Lasers. Shady says, personally, I would like alchemy to be more ingredient dependent instead of recipe. For example, mix ingredients that I know as I wish. So as I wish, yeah, and then see what happens. I think that's cool, and I think the thing is, I would love to do that, but I think Obejima is doing a way better version of that with their new alchemy system, where they have basically a whole bunch of ingredients that they're adding to the world, and you can mix them up in different ways, and something will happen. There's like this massive amount of combinations that you can do, and maybe you're right though. Maybe that I could figure something out like that with alchemy. There yeah, they're not recipes, but they're like, okay, if you use blood, you can do this. If you use body parts, you can do this. Bone dust can do this. Not recipes, but mixing and matching properties of materials. That's really fun, because I like the idea that forging can bring out the potential of materials and add them into items. Runecraft needs specific materials, very expensive materials to make runes, like gemstones and stuff. And then alchemy is just all about experimenting and seeing what happens. Okay, I'm going to add this CR5 blood, and I'm going to mix it with some bone dust from a CR2 creature that's an aberration and see what happens. That could be fun. That could be very fun. But then going through alchemy teaches you what each property does, or like when you know how to utilize blood, for example, you now know that adding blood to your recipes will give them healing properties. Adding bone dust will add buffing properties. Adding gemstones will add elemental properties. Yeah, I like it. I like your thinking for a very big brain. When take this node, you now know how to utilize benefits of a material. And then you make a consumable potion, you drink it, and you can be like, okay, in this potion, I'm going to smack together this blood, this dust, and this, I don't know, skin or organ. I'm going to mix them all together, and we've got like a mega cool potion. And maybe you can only mix, a certain amount of potions, like effects into a potions per day. So like equal to proficiency modifier. So I could make, as in a day, I can make one potion with an eyeball in it and one potion with blood in it. Or if I want, I can mix the eyeball and the blood into one potion. That could be fun. Actually, I'm going to write that down. For fuck. Limited to number of materials can use in a concoction. Thank you so much, Nemo, is it? Nemo-chan. Thank you so much, Nemo-chan, for subscribing. Thank you very much. I'm going to sneeze. Hold up. Oh my god. So equal to off question mark. I might change the proficiency. I like proficiency though. That kind of makes sense and it kind of levels nicely. Per day can add multiple to one or lots of individual potions. And what I like about that is like it's not just about your understanding of the materials is what lets you turn them into potions. But if you wanted, if you are ballsy enough to go out and fight a CR10, you go fight a storm giant, but you're level 1. You're like, I just need his toenail. I just need this toenail to make a potion of giant strength, and then I'll be sorted. So that's so cool. That you can be like, I'm a level 1 guy, but if I can get a toenail, I can make this potion because I know how to work with toenails or how to work with giant parts. That's really, really cool. Okay, catching up. Tech could be optional. Yeah, I like the idea that tech is optional. Obviously, if it's on the skill tree, it's optional. But maybe tech should be a skill tree of its own. And if you are doing a steampunk game, I can add the steampunk crafting system to your game. So let's just add that. I like the idea, that skill trees can exist as they are, or you can suddenly just get like modifiers for a crafting skill tree, for example, and then you've got the tech skill tree. Let's go. Let's say that. Let's say tech make own skill tree, and then in the future I'll do, because I want to do that. I want to do a sci-fi skill tree. I want to do, yeah, we'll do a steampunk skill tree. We'll do a horror theme skill tree and maybe some eldritch skill tree. I'll do all this stuff in the future. It'll be really fun to do. Let's go. Tech should be, I read all this. Shady, Jesus, I can't use new lines in here. New lines? Rip the list idea. What are new lines? Sorry. Oh, I see. You can't add. Oh, yeah. Oh, like literally a new line in text. Sorry. Ozzy, welcome. I haven't seen Ozzy in the chat before. Could you do less core branches than go into sub branches? Yeah, I think that's the way to go, and I think that's the way it kind of would naturally evolve, with then them all finally coming back to one final point, which is like the perfect formula or the flawless glyphs or any of those master crafts. So let's scrap tech for now. I think I have a backup one of these. Yeah, I do have it. Yeah, so let's just scrap it. I'm going to delete it here. Undo it all. Undo. Delete all. I could have just selected it all, actually. Oh, no. Oops. I didn't do it originally. I should listen to my instincts. There we go. And then prosthetics can just go up here now. Beautiful. And that's going to clean it up. And I think I'm going to delete the arcane one. Just because I think it's when I find myself trying to force ways to make it fit in, it just doesn't work as well. So maybe I'll just get rid of this. I think I'm just gonna delete it. I was gonna get rid of it, and I can add spell scrolls to the runes tree. Let's just do that. Spell scrolls. It's gonna be like an in between of alchemy and runes. And what I like here is if you just have the Trinity, you've got a lovely progression of like permanence in your items. So what is cool here is alchemy are all going to be just consumable things. Runes are semi-permanent, or you need a permanent object to add them on. Forging then is making permanent items, which I like. So you've got a lovely cyclical nature there, or like very complementary nature in here. So that's cool. I like where this is going. This is much cleaner, I think. Beautiful. Bad idea. I like a Molotov. Where's the Molotovs? Let me go back here. Oh wow, chat's really gone ahead of ahead of me again. Jesus, text should definitely be optional. Yeah, Jesus. Bad idea. Generate sleep potions, anti-exhaustion potions, fire potions, frost potions, crystallization potions. Bad idea generator. If I had the money to hire a brain, I would hire your brain. If this thing gets big, if I am a very big YouTuber and I need bigger team to bake these skill trees, I'm going to keep you in mind. Ozzy, also the idea of potent potions, you could make certain kinds of alchemy early within the skill tree and debut that you can't bypass until later on. Yeah, exactly. That's the idea, yeah, Ozzy, which is like, I think the idea, maybe certain things here are reserved to higher levels. And obviously, it's down to the DM as well and what they want to give you too in terms of monsters. And that's a nice way for the DM. They can like limit the materials you get. And then obviously you got flawless gifts later. So that's like or flawless masterpiece kind of crafts that you get way later on in the skill tree that maybe you need to be a certain level to get. And those will give like additional benefits again. Could skeleton servants be possible? I mean, there's lots of spells that do that. and I feel like I don't want to do what spells do. So it's always a fine line trying to avoid the spells that already exist. Bad idea, generate potions that can be thrown like grenades rather than actual grenades. Yes, I actually have grenades here on the skill tree. I'll zoom in on that. We'll go there, right there. So grenades, chuckables. I was going to call them chuckables, but they didn't quite fit in nicely in the thing. So grenades. So this is where the Molotov has come from. Shady. For potion ingredients, I was thinking positive ingredients, strength, plus strength example. Negative ingredients, minus. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's put on an ability here. Oops. In the... what have I done? Let's take a step down here. Ability... Let's do a node. Debuffs. So that could be a node that you could just pick up that turns all the positive effects that you get from the alchemy skill tree into negative effects. Turn positive abilities into negatives. Or you can choose the option when you learn a thing, when you learn, say, giants, how to use giants, you can now have the positive buff or the negative buff. Maybe that should just be a feature. Add negative plus, like you just said, actually, yeah, positive features to each material. Okay, beautiful. Why have I got a question mark there? There we go. Plus. Oh, right. That's why. Okay. There we go. Beautiful. Catching up with the chat. Oh, okay. There's more to the chat. Some unique materials like troll blood gives some regen. I like that. I like specific ingredients. I think I'll look at that at some point. Contamination potion. Contra magic? What is contra magic? Curse suppression potions. Damn, that's good. Vegas tech modify skill trees like Neolithic tree. It's cool. Nemo-chan. Also, hello. I watched your skill tree video and I loved it. I will play test it with my group. Thank you so much for your great work. Thank you so much, Nemo-chan, for subscribing and also just joining here in the chat. And thank you so much for trying out the skill tree. I really hope it goes well. And if you play test it, let me know in the comments somewhere or on Discord, whatever, if you liked it and how it worked. I'd love to know how it all goes. Kittery, is that pronounced right? Kittery? Great name. Welcome. And you're asking, would there be a gathering skill tree? What is a gathering skill tree? Tell me, describe what a gathering skill tree would be. I'm very curious. Also, thank you so much, Nemo-chan, for the happy birthday. Thank you. Golden Phoenix, I just checked my phone and changed some things. What did I miss? I mean, what we've done to hone it down, we're going to just do runecraft, alchemy, and forging. Oh, the music's changed to the part that I don't like. This gets out of control. Changing it back. Change it to those three. Got some great ingredients. We're going to focus on like ingredients and what they all do and how they affect spells and potions and other crafts. I'm basically just going through all that. People are suggesting what type of runes there should be, what type of alchemy recipes there should be, and we've changed the recipes to just learning about different types of materials. So, for example, with alchemy, you can now learn how to utilize giant parts. And now when you add those to your potion, if you get parts of a giant, you can make potions that increase strength or reduce strength. Alternatively, it could be like adding gemstones. If you specialize in gemstones, they now add different elemental effects to attacks you make or something for a short amount of time. I realize there should be a node for potion time length, I guess. So the length of how long the potions last and the affects them. He got rid of tech. Yeah. Oh, you're already filling it. Thank you so much for filling people in. Seasonal goblin. We have a seasonal goblin in the chat. Welcome. Nice to see you. Any advice for someone who has trouble motivating doing pre-work as a GM? For me, if I'm stuck, I go on YouTube and I look up things like the Dungeon Dad, or Dungeon Dudes, Pointy Hat, and I look at some interesting ideas they have, typically maybe around monsters or something, and they usually break down really cool monsters and concepts, and that's enough for me to be like, I'm just going to do that cool thing now. Or if I'm watching a show, if you're watching shows, just be like, the thing is, I think you can very easily as a DM have the campaign control you rather than you control the campaign. Like, you get to a point where you're running the campaign, you're like, it doesn't make sense to add space wizards in here. I really would like to, but it just doesn't really work. The thing is, you can add anything to your story. You can have anything happen in your story because you're in charge. And I think, yeah, you can get stuck, you can get trapped. And same when you're playing a certain character, you're like, I don't know if my character would do this. Find a way that they would. And just do what's fun, because you'll appreciate it then, and the game will go in a very you can get comfy too as a DM, where you get kind of safe and you don't want it to go too crazy. But whenever you do those things, every time I've done the crazy thing in any of my games and just made it make sense later, we've had a blast. So one example, I had these Space Wizard games in my game. I wanted a way for all my different players in my campaigns, whenever we couldn't have a game, I would still run a Space Wizards game. And this would be a game where anyone who has a character would be able to play together during these games. And I just said, like, I was trying to figure out how do I make that work for my world. In the end, I just had a Space Wizard show up in a DeLorean. He can just dimension hop between realities, between timelines, and he just picks people up in his car, drives them to the Space Wizard island out in space, and they take part in some sort of game. We've had like deadly pillow fight games. We've had everyone was put into a what's it call it? Like a I want to say ping pong, but it's not ping pong. What's the one with the bumpers and the ball goes around? Anyway, they went to a giant machine and they were the balls in the machine. My brain's gone. I probably have to wrap up this stream soon because I'm going to start shutting down from here on out. But just do something wild. Do something that is fun and just make it work. I just put it in there and make it make sense later. That's my inspiration. That's my 2 cents. So Nezu Nezu, maybe coating a sword in vampire bone could heal a percent of damage you heal. I like that. Let's go with alchemy potions. Let's go with regen, and let's go with lifesteal. I like it. Let's do it. Kitomi Kitiri, I always love debuffing my enemies, so I'd love debuff options. I think there should be debuff things in most of these. I think that's a good shout. I think we've written that down for most things here. Rolex Mirror, I'm not a DM or GM, but maybe read a book or watch some fantasies. Yeah, I think just absorbing as much content as you can is great. Yeah, read, watch anime, watch shows, TV, go outside, see cool birds or creatures and be like, hey, that I like how they do that thing. Vegas, positive effects mixed with negative effects, gain more powerful potions, 6 components, but negative components allow more positive effects. Interesting. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, adding positive and negative effects cancel each other out. So that's cool. So you can have a poison and the hill giant strength, but now you can have more things because you've technically not spent anything. So now you're strong, but you're also being poisoned. That could be interesting. That could be very fun. Seasonal goblin, that's fair. Good advice too. Nemo-chan, I'll let you know. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, do let me know how that goes. Kitamori, I have to read this slowly because my brain It goes too fast. I won't pronounce it right. Kitami, Kitari, Kotiri. Oh, I've been pronouncing it wrong. Sorry. Actually, it probably wouldn't be its own skill tree, but skill tree is learning how to best gather the ingredients needed for crafting. Yes. I'm actually going to add that into the role play skill tree. We're going to add that in later. And have a whole forging or like material gathering branch. So like mining or like foraging or hunting maybe. And maybe even bartering. Being able to buy materials from merchants and stuff that you pass by. Now, getting to the bottom of here. Potion duration. Yeah, how long a potion's effects will last. Sword play and sorcery. Welcome. Anyone who wants to watch some cool ass videos, go check out Sword Play and Sorcery. They're a fantastic YouTuber. Late, you say late, but made it. How is this tree coming along? Pretty good. I mean, it looks more empty than it did before, but we've got some very solid ideas, like a whole big Word document filled with ideas here. So I think there's some really good foundations here, but we're sticking with alchemy, runecraft, and forging. One being consumables, one being temporary kind of buffs to give weapons, and forging being permanent weapons with magical effects or whatever. Not magical effects, but permanent non-magical items. Seasonal goblin, and yet somehow space wizards are coming. Yeah. Ozzy says, I'm curious what gave you the idea to implement skill trees into D&D. So, I have been fascinated with the idea of classless skill trees for years, and I've wanted to develop them. My really long-ass campaign, that's about 8 years old now, started with me making everyone a level 0 character, and they played as themselves. And we used this mini system to make a classless version of themselves. And I just love it. I just love the freedom a skill tree gives to building a very customizable, very creative character or build. I love the idea of being able to break them and go wild with the abilities and really, really hone in and specialize on one thing, or just being a master of all these different things. I love just the idea of it being a pick and mix rather than, okay, I need this one ability from Ranger, so I'm going to go 3 levels in Ranger so I can get Gloomstalker. Now the rest of the Ranger abilities are redundant for my build or the thing I'm going for story-wise, and it takes getting to 3 levels in to Ranger. It takes a lot of time rather than here in the skill tree. You can just be like, boop, boop, boop. Okay, now I have the ability, and you can really figure out what path you're going to go. I just think they're way more flexible, way more creative, way more intuitive too in many ways for people who've come from video games. Skill trees just make a lot of sense to me, and I just think they're really fun and exciting. And I haven't seen anyone else do it, so that's another thing, I guess. It's which is fun. Seasonal Goblin, Space Island. I'm stealing this. Yes, thank you. No worries. Go ahead. Add a Space Island to your game. Bring out the Space Wizards. Vegas screens. Soon I shall start work on a great CHOS, or is that meant to be Chaos D&D world? Think a game save file going to different people. But D&D players do Civ 6-esque things like small. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, building like that. I love that. I love that. It's really, really fun. Pinball. There we go. Yes, in Space Wizard game, everyone was put into a giant pinball machine and were the pinballs and had to hit off bumpers to get points and could also knock people away so they would fall into the hole. Yes, thank you. Vegas screens from Neolithic to Spacer if they survive. That's really, really cool. Kitami Kotiri, one of my favorite superpower things is the ability to control an element with your surroundings, then funnel or infuse them into your weapons and aid them rather than just straight up blasting it. I like that a lot, and I love the idea of you could totally add that to your story. You'd be like, okay, for this fire rune, we need to go into the desert and harness the harvest these fire rubies and absorb their elements, add them into my blade, so now my blade can do fire damage, so we can go fight that ice troll in this other place. Yeah. Ambers, I once would have needed to take 6-level detour into a class for a single feature I wanted. Ended up scrapping the entire character concept. And that is exactly why I'm making skill trees. Brilliant example, Amber. And Amber's, and that's, it sucks. And it can be kind of frustrating. So yeah. And sometimes as well, people just take entirely different pathways, like kind of go in completely different directions in D&D, and maybe, you know, a warlock, they remove their pact from the warlock all of a sudden, and now it's like, oh, what's the new class that I branch into to replace that, or do I keep the warlock things? All that stuff is very interesting, and with the skill tree, I think it's kind of interesting. You can just be like, I get back X amount of points, and now I can just redistribute them in other things. Yeah. Anyway, I think that is a good place to leave it. We have so much here. I'm going to go ahead now, in my own time, start fleshing out the skill tree, make it look a little prettier as well. It's a bit all over the place and scattered at the moment and looking a bit barren. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining. I'm also going to fill out this eventually. This is going to be on materials. So when you also harvest materials, how much they can sell for, based on their rarity, based on the Seor monster that you took it from, all that stuff. Add that in later. But thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of this chat, being part of this stream. And we've hit 6,000 subscribers now, which is fantastic. It's incredible. There's like 2,000 subscribers in the space of less than a week, which is really, really exciting. Next Tuesday or so, I'm going to be releasing my first video on this wonderful combat skill tree. Most of it anyway. So do stick around for that. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe now, and do like this video when it goes, becomes a VOD or whatever. When it is published, give it a like, comment on it, so that hopefully it does well. Other people will see it. If you don't mind, you don't have to do any of that. And also, if you want to continue chatting about all this stuff, come join my Discord. It should be in the description below. We can continue talking about skill trees. Recently, I've been asking people in the Discord as well for ideas, as well as I've been writing, and occasionally for anyone on my Patreon, I will be maybe doing a few more kind of just like casual calls on Discord, where I'm just like, I'll just stream my process, and anyone who's around, I'll chat about it. I'll let you know what's going on. But yeah, thank you so much. A bunch of messages coming in. Let me have a quick little read. Oh, I have an hour. Amber says, I have a little over an hour left of work, and I'm just done, ready to go home. Yeah, I get that feeling when you're like, why am I still here? I've done all the work. I'm just kind of sitting on my little swivel chair now and don't know what to do. Kitomi Kotiri, so there's an aura skill tree where one can customize your aura damage effects, including buffing and debuffing your surroundings. I actually have a little bit on that in the combat. Yeah, there's a whole aura focus thing. I think it's here somewhere there. There's something about auras. But yeah, 100%. Rolex mirror. Hang in there, Ambers. Swordplay and sorcery, good stuff. Can't wait to see this thing get bigger and bigger. Yeah, I'm gonna make a big old book eventually. Hopefully we can turn it into a big Kickstarter. Give it all to you as an actual physical book with maybe stuff from the world of Gostar in there too. Yeah, we'll see how we go. Vegas says, yeah, P-Moon is amazing, and confusing 3 games so far, and we are barely scratching the surface. Yeah, okay, interesting, but ego someone has explained. Okay, cool. I'll check all that out. Do send me the ego stuff in the Discord. Rolex can't wait. Oh, nice. Aussie says, this was a great stream, and I am happy. Oh, I'm so glad. Happy I found your channel as early as I did. Can't wait to see you grow. Can't wait to grow and share loads of stuff with you. Thank you so much for joining and supporting me. Brilliant. Yeah, we're going to leave it there. Blue is out in the balcony, so, you know what? I'll go grab her so she can say bye. Okay, well, I'll be right back. 2 seconds. Yeah. You want to say goodbye to everyone here? Oh, you're like, no, please put me back outside the balcony. It's freezing outside now, you know. Okay, so we're gonna look at the camera and we're gonna say bye. So, bye. See you guys. Thanks for joining. And thanks for the happy birthdays. Yes, I'm 1 year old. I'm actually older than 1 year old right now. So it's pretty intense being an old dog. What are you sniffing? All right. Thank you all so much. My voice is going. It's a good time to stop. And I'll see you next week with another video. Bye bye.
Gostar, the God's Tier. The world of Gostar drips from the elemental chaos like a teardrop. And the further from the chaos that you travel, the more the world cools, stabilizes, and becomes livable. The gods created this world as a sanctuary, originally for themselves to escape the madness that is the chaos. But as they filled it with wonders, it became home to so much more. Gaia, the leader of all the gods, molded this world, separated it into 6 distinct realms: Jotunheim, the Vale, Olympus, Limbo, Diu, and Kini. Each of which she left to her children, the 6 dragons of Gostar, known as the Feylords, to protect. Lucifer, the oldest of the siblings, claimed Diu, a fiery land full of rare treasure, gemstones, and gold. Tyr, the white dragon, claimed the frosty mountainous realm of Jotunheim, building impregnable fortresses to encircle his own castle, built into the biggest glacier he could find. Cain took over the stormy realm of Olympus and helped erect entire cities into the skies. Abel governed Limbo, a land warped by millennia of psychic wars. Lilith took over the Vale and tended to the delicate ecosystems of the magical and natural world. And then finally, Titus, the runt of the litter, was left Guinea, a wasteland of undead, monsters, and eldritch horrors, a land where few humanoids can be found, and any you do meet will not survive long. The dragons eventually warred, like all rulers do. Abel fell to Cain, Tyr was mortally wounded, and those that survived were hated by mortals for the destruction they wrought. The Feylords were pushed back into the fringes of society and were eventually lost to the fog of legends and time. But that does not stop them from interfering with mortals' plans, for the threads of fate weave ever so tightly on our heroes who stand and fight the chaos that threatens to consume